Hello, my name is Lewis and welcome to Gathering the Magic. With the official release of Strixhaven just days away, we're looking at the top 10 most expensive cards from Strixhaven. Starting off the list we have Rowan, Scholar of Sparks and Will, Scholar of Frost. The Kenrith twins arrive in DFC form in Strixhaven, both with that ability that makes instant and sorceries cast one less. Rowan deals 1 damage to each opponent, but if you draw 3 or more cards this turn, she deals 3 damage to each opponent. And as we can see, there are plenty of ways to draw in MTG. Her ultimate is spicy. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can pay 2, copy the spell and choose new targets for that copy. Want to double down on that remove by paying 2? Go for it. Want to tutor for something? Just pay 2 and you're doubling down on your chances to win the game. On the other side we have the more expensive Will. He has the ability to turn something to a 0/2 temporarily, draw some cards, and also exile 5 targets and create a load of 4/4 elementals. If you've created a load of small tokens, you could sack them and give yourself a load of big, beefy elementals. You may think this new card is amazing, but if you ask me, I'd say, is it? Before we get to number 9 and even more terrible puns, make sure to smash that like button and of course subscribe for all things MTG. Strixhaven Draft Booster Box dropping on the channel in the next few days. Next on the list we have Velomaccus Lorehold. This Boros Elder Dragon is not only a great new card, but also a great option for a commander. This Flying Vigilance Haste 5/5 has that attack trigger that when you attack, you look at the top 7 cards of your library and cast an instant or sorcery equal or less than Velo's power for free. So with this we want all those extra combats. Fortunately, Red loves an extra combat phase, so there are so many options at your disposal. As for the instants and sorceries you want to aim for, again, options are plenty. You could go for the classic tutors, ways to get even more juicy mana, ways to get you even more card draw, and so much more. This creature is great because there are plenty of ways to run with it, and if you want, you get all those ways to beef up Velo's power, because then you can play those higher CMC instants and sorceries, not having to worry about whiffing when drawing those 7 cards. Lastly, if you've got an Approach of the Second Sun comboed with all those extra turns, that's goodbye opponents, hello quick win. But remember, never let Velomaccus Lorehold tell you a story. Why? Because they drag on.
I think you should leave.
Changing houses, next on the list we have Shadricks Silver Quill. Another Elder Dragon, this time a 2/5 with flying, double strike and a couple of combat triggers. Another potential commander to go several ways, as there are many options on that trigger. Maybe you want to play the politics, choose some target opponents to receive some lovely Inkling flyers. Just make sure you have that combat calligrapher in your deck, get some protection from those Inklings. Again, play politics with a second option, allow them to draw a card and lose a life for that privilege. Even better if you've got those cards that punish players whenever they draw a card. And lastly, allow target player to put a 1/1 counter on each creature they control, which saying that is crazy. If you want to keep it current, then grab those legendary creatures from the upcoming Sliverquill Statement C21 deck and start popping off with them too. Of course, the text says on combat you may, so you could just not do any. And we all know there's someone at the table who loves to be the villain. Now I'm looking at you, Meme Master Steve. Next on the list it's more modal DFC madness with Mila, Crafty Companion, and Luca, Wayward Bonder. Mila is a fox who gives your planeswalkers loyalty counters if they're attacked, and allows you to draw cards when your opponents try to target one of your permanents. Yes, white card draw. Returning from Ikoria, Luca allows you to discard a card to draw a card, drawing 2 if you discard a creature. Also allows you to temporarily return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield and give you an emblem that when a creature ETBs, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. A card I see as more of in the 99 of a deck than a commander itself. This is a great double option if you're looking for some card draw or just some sort of creature graveyard recursion. Let's just hope that in the lore, Mila lasts a lot longer than Luca's previous animal partner from Ikoria. Next up we have Jazzy Oracle of Arcavios and Journey to the Oracle. A powerful human wizard and one I packed twice in my set booster box, so go and check that out after you watch this video. Jazzy has that fail-safe trickery that allows you to discard a card and return it to your hand, perfect for any board wipe or removal protection. Why not throw in a load of no max handside stuff, just to widen that hand and make sure you've always got chuckable cards at the ready. It's also got that magecraft that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can look at the top card of your library and pay 1 rather than paying its mana cost. And if it's a land, you can just put it straight on the field. So many cards that if you've got the chance to play for 1 instead of its mana cost, you're going to be at the most ridiculous advantage. We also have Journey to the Oracle that lets you put all your lands from your hand onto the field, and if you have 8 or more lands, you can discard a card and return Journey to your hand. There's also so many new Strixhaven cards with that magecraft ability that you could really make this deck so super synergistic and pop off to the max every time you play an instant or sorcery. Now the real question is, do I make a deck around this, or do I just throw it into my Tishana deck? Next on the list we have Wandering Archaic. The anti-magecraft avatar is a 4/4 creature that whenever an opponent plays an instant or sorcery, you can pay 2, copy the spell and choose a new target for the copy. Your opponent playing some sort of deadly removal, pay the 2 and get some removal of your own. And of course you can do this with ramp or just any other instant or sorcery that your opponent tries to throw your way. On the DFC side we also have Explore the Vastlands, which gives each player 3 life, but also force reveals a land and or instant or sorcery, which could always be advantageous to see what your opponent has planned in the future. A strong card, especially with the new instants and sorceries meta in Strixhaven, but definitely not the best avatar out there. Just missing out on the top 3 we have Kasamina, Enigma Sage. A really cool Simic Planeswalker, Kasamina allows every other Planeswalker you control to have the abilities of Kasamina. So those Simic Planeswalkers like Kiora and Tamio get even more versatile. Kasamina allows you to scry, put fractal tokens onto the field, or search your library for a blue, green or Simic instant or sorcery and cast it without paying its mana cost. So go for the obvious and get out those huge costing instants or sorceries that you don't want to pay the mana for. Or maybe just fetch out something to give you an extra turn, some more removal, or just whatever you fancy. Of course, if I was building a deck around Kasamina, I'd be whacking out all those Planeswalkers, especially those pesky Teferi. Then maybe some of those loyalty staples like Doubling Season and many more to power up those Planeswalkers quickly, kill off your opponents, and go back home to spend more time thinking about those sweet, sweet prickly marmosets. Back to the Strixhaven Elder Dragons we have Galazette Prismari, a 3/4 that when it ETBs, you create a treasure token and all artifacts let you tap them for 1 mana of any colour to spend on those instants and sorceries. My instant thought when I see Galazeth is packing all those especially blue blinking cards that allow Galazeth to ETB over and over again so you can keep stacking up those treasure tokens and get super rich. You just want to add all those super cheap artifacts to the table, especially the 1 and 0 mana ones. Not only will they have a cool ability, like say no maximum hand size for example, but they'll also tap for a mana of any colour, which you can then use on some powerful ass instants or sorceries. With Izzet you can be using all of this mana to be playing so many extra turns, destroying your opponent's creatures, or just pinging everyone in the face everywhere for all that damage. Galazeth is a wicked card, a wicked potential commander, and if you're sleeping on this card, then you're a drag off.
Please stop.
Runner up and the second most expensive card we have Professor Onyx. Who'd have thought it, Liliana has been away and got herself a degree, apparently to attempt to revive Gideon after he sacrificed himself to save her back in War of the Spark. This Planeswalker has that Magecraft ability to drain each opponent of 2 life and you gain 2 life. Maybe this needs to go in my Ayara deck. She also allows you to scry 1 and send some of your cards to the graveyard. The middle ability makes each opponent sack their strongest creature, and that ultimate makes each opponent sack a card or lose 3 life, and then you repeat that another 6 times. That ultimate is definitely a Torment of Hailfire in disguise. If you've got those cards that allow you to gain life every time your opponent are losing those 3 life, then you're going to be looking at that 3-digit life total before you know it. This is just a ridiculously powerful Planeswalker that I really hope I pack in my Strixhaven draft booster box in a couple of days, because you bet I want this card added to my collection. And the most expensive card from Strixhaven is Belladross Witherbloom. You bet we're finishing on that Golgari 4/4 Flying Elder Dragon. Belladross has at the beginning of each upkeep create a 1/1 pest that whenever it dies, you gain a life. I love this card and I know you're just going to go life gain crazy with it. Have all those creatures that give you life when other creatures ETB, have those sack outlets so you can kill those pests and gain even more life. Whenever a card says on each upkeep, it just speaks volumes to me, because in a game of Commander, that's 4 whole triggers on each rotation, which is just absolutely huge and can overwhelm your opponents if it's not dealt with. And with that pay 10 life ability, you can be having your own personal wilderness reclamation on the board and untap all those lands you control. And because we've not done it yet, the always legit 100% perfect Gathering the Magic card of the deck award is absolutely going to Aetherflux Reservoir. You saw it coming, get to that high life total insanely quickly, take a hit of 50 life and just swing out straight to your opponent's face for the insta-kill. This card is just so elite, and I could even see it becoming the new face of my Ayara deck and converting it into some sort of Golgari life gain pesty madness. There we have it, that is the list. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like this video and smash the subscribe button for all things MTG and get us well on that road to 1,000 subs. And that prickly Malvasette tattoo. For now though, I'm all tapped out, so I'll see you in the next video.